that can be difficult because some people, like I was saying earlier, when they look at the landscape, they think that's already natural. And when you're trying to say to them, actually it's not, and we're going to, we're cutting down trees, we're shooting deer, we're planting trees on that landscape that you think should look like that, it can be quite controversial, and people can get quite upset because they want it to be the way it was when they were younger. But life moves on and things renew, and that's why I think we shouldn't be trying to preserve the landscape or conserve it or restore it, but we should be trying to renew it. So it's an ongoing relationship.
So when you say nature, what's the difference in conserving as opposed to renewing?
Well, renewing is you haven't decided exactly what the end point is. So it's an interactive relationship with nature. You're trying to put in place the building blocks to allow nature to restore itself. So nature will decide exactly where the trees go through natural regeneration, rather than us saying there was trees here in 1800, so therefore we're going to plant the exact same type of trees in that exact area, because things have moved on from then.
Yes, and nature evolves.
You can't go back.
Yeah. So how do you let that happen? Is that happening?
Well, we're trying. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're reducing, I suppose, what we see as the pressures or threats. So in the Glenveagh example, the deer herd there has got absolutely out of control and completely overgrazed the area for probably 70 or 80 years.
What if you introduce wolves?
Yeah, that's the obvious thing that people say. Until a wolf prefers to run after a deer that's very fast than it does eating a sheep, which stands there and goes, yeah. It's not really a runner.
No, I know. So, I just was throwing it there, like, but it's what would that would be
a more natural solution. But we're not there. We're not there. So what we're doing is we shoot the deer, or cull them, as the term is, and we reduce the numbers to allow the vegetation to grow and the trees and woodland then to restore itself over time. And as the trees grow up, the deer filter back into that area, because you're not trying to eradicate them out of the landscape. You need deer to kind of browse and to create that kind of mosaic in the landscape. And nature's messy. It's not perfect. It's not in neat little squares. Like a lot of the scientific approach to managing nature is, it's perfection. It's academic. But in reality, you've got wet pools, which is bog. You've got little patches of woodland. You've got dry bits of ground. You've got wet pieces of ground. And you can't put neat little fences around everywhere. Everything. So that's that type of habitat. That's this type of habitat. When you're managing at a landscape scale, 16, 17,000 hectares, that's big for Ireland. Yeah, I mean, human influence can be a positive story as well on some bird species. We have corncrake here in Donegal. They're not doing very well. They would have been associated with old kind of style of farming. And now they're subject to a lot of projects trying to bring them back from the brink, but they're kind of hovering on the local extinction. And it's very difficult to sell farmers a farming method or a way of farming that's gone 50 or 60 years ago. And you're saying, you really need to go back in time. Very difficult. That's a hard sell.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It is. I actually had that conversation just recently about the farmers. Yeah. You sound like, you're a wealth of knowledge when it comes to nature and what you've done in your life. Like, what do you feel all of this has taught you,
Humility, I suppose, that I'm just passing through. Nature is there. It's enduring. It's long term. I'm just really a kind of a speck. I'm trying to enjoy life as much as I can and not make it any shitter than I found it when I came along. And just really trying to, I suppose, improve how we live on the earth, how humans interact with the world around us. What have I learned? I don't know, that I don't know that much. Yeah.
Because it can be, I suppose, there can be an element of it's all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I think that, I mean, action needs to be taken, but still.
I think that's been a mistake, that the environmental movement has made everybody feel guilty about living their lives. And I think that there's a lot of hope, certainly in Ireland. Our relationship with nature is much better than it was 100 years ago. Although people think the habitats and species are in worse condition, our approach to them, we're not as hungry. You know, we have a little bit more wealth, we have a bit more space and ability now to reshape and make decisions about our future with nature. In this moment, I think it's this generation who's going to decide the next 50 or 100 years about how we interact with nature. And there's loads of hope. There's more trees. There's more action being taken now than there ever was. So I'm really positive, actually, about change and about the future. I think that we need to be careful about telling people not to do things all the time. And then nature becomes associated with being a restriction or something that stops people from living or making a euro or getting on with their lives in a comfortable way. And we need to provide solutions and outcomes that people want to have as opposed to are forced to have. And there's a difference between those things. And at the moment, we're still in the space of the scientists or the environmentalists standing on a soapbox, wagging their finger at people, telling them, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. And, you know, when you were younger in school or with your parents, you didn't pay much heed to the person who's wagging their finger at you.
No.
But you did to someone who showed you something that was lovely or beautiful or a good experience. And you go, I value that. Or I think that's worthwhile because you were converted to something that was positive. But if someone's wagging their finger, don't do this, don't do that, the ears block, the eyes roll, and people just get on with their lives. So we have to find a way to break through to people and not make them feel guilty about living their lives. It's really important. I think it's been great chatting with you. Or to you. I don't know if you
No, it's a two-way conversation.
Yeah.